Hi, beloved, and welcome to your message from God. Okay, the big God, God Himself. I thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be an interesting message, okay? Very peculiar. This is subjective to those who don't believe in the supernatural. Please click out or tap out of this message if you don't believe in the supernatural. Keyword supernatural, okay? And with that being said, let's begin, beloved, with your message from God. What does He have in store for us all? I feel that the reason I keep smiling is because I'm seeing an analogy. This is an analogy that is being presented to me via vision, foresight, by God. God is showing me a vision of you and someone else not on speaking terms. I feel like you cut someone loose, and this is someone that is not self-accepting of your rejection. It's messing up their psychological health, their physical health, their mental health is in shambles because of you. And I feel like it's not just a blame game. I feel like it's the truth. Someone's impact here, which is yours. I feel like you have power, and that power, I feel like it exudes some form of energy that makes people do as you say, when you say it, how you say it. I feel like this is power that you carry within you, that you keep a secret because you're not a bad person. Your trust of keeping the secret has led you here with God. Now I see that you've been misbehaving sexually with someone here of your past, which that needs to stop. I don't want to reveal you guys to these evil cunts that watch. Just stop. Okay. So here's the news, kids. Someone gave themselves away to you sexually. This is within the aspect of masturbation. I love that God tapped me into this. So it's like basically what I'm about to tell you, the analogy here would be that you understand what masturbation is. So I feel like you're dealing, firstly, this is feminine and feminine energy. Nothing more, nothing less, okay? I feel like there's a high priestess reverse that is tampering with your sacred chakra behind the scenes, manipulating your sexuality somehow. I feel like someone's trying to turn you gay or turn you against your current state of sexual preference because they feel rejected. I feel like this is someone that wants your thirst. This is someone that wants your craving for them to increase. They're not satisfied with the way you're handling their presence in your life. You know what I feel like you're dealing with here? I feel like you're dealing with someone who presents themselves to you to be someone who is good, noble, benevolent, intriguingly good-willed. But in actual reality, I feel like this is someone that goes behind closed doors, and here's what they do. They put a blanket over themselves and they look at the nastiest shit online and they look at similarities of the most grotesque names to call people. Like, this is someone, let me give a reference point. Someone Googling different analogies of the word ugly, different similarities, similes, like kind of like, what are the synonyms? Yes, that's the proper terminology. What is another word I can use outside of ugly? Like, this is someone that tries to increase their verbiage with ugly, lustful terms and words to sound more powerful, so that like people get fearful of them when they speak, because they're using a form of manipulation that is wordplay. Someone is wordplaying the energy of manipulation and like exuding it. Like, someone is a walking paradox here. Like, someone here is like, they're one flesh, but within there are many identities. So I feel like this is like a feminine energy that is thirsty and hungry for your sexual energy, that they feel that you won't give to them willingly, so they have to take it. Like, I feel like this is someone who is like bloodthirsty for this, to the point where it's leading them into a path of immorality of like their own character. They don't have boundaries. They don't care. They have to do it their way. And that's what makes them a dangerous person. Not just a dangerous person, a menace, a threat to society. Not to you, it's subjective to that. Because it's spiritually handled, or even physically handled for you by your guides, your ancestors, and the big God, God himself. But just because it's handled doesn't mean it's not happening. Someone is a crazy motherfucker, okay? Still crazy, always been that way. Before they even encountered you. Just to show how big of this is outside of you. It's not about you. Someone is sick. They want to include you in this little fantasy, in this little game. And I feel like you've been feeling their energy. You've been feeling this unwanted feminine energy that is like a spirit that follows you. I feel like you reject it countless times, but it still comes. I feel like you're dealing with someone who wants you to be what they want you to be. I feel that this is someone who is subjective to consequence. If you tell them about things that they need to do, things that are right, you driving them crazy. You telling them about God, good things, oh hell no, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear about the opposite. Oh, tell me about the devil. Why do people fear the devil? I want to learn so that I can portray. This is someone who is in agonizing misery of who they are. And because of that, they live a life of projection to the peak. Someone projects for a living. Like this is a real life projector. Someone is a walking projection. That is a reality they refuse to live in. Masking it in their ways that they've learned over the years. Because this is someone that trains themselves like to be a certain way. Like I feel like you're dealing with someone who is a chameleon. They'll study their opponent, portray the act needed, and that is how they win it, folks. They become what you want them to be. I feel like you're dealing with that sort of spirit of a feminine that allows themselves to be stigmatized by any man that is with a woman that is more beautiful than them. Let me give you an analogy here. This is so interesting to me. The study of women, right? speaks about women priding themselves in looking beautiful and it being more glorified than sane-mindedness. A pretty bitch with a crazy mind is still pretty, and that matters most than their craziness. But when they kill somebody, oh, that's when sense knocks. Reality, right? Something crazy gotta happen first. But here, the analogy is, this is a reference point, an analogy, an example I want to use to describe someone you're dealing with here. Like, comparison of the two. Take what is needed and, understand it here. So take the analogy of a beautiful, this is an analogy, a reference point, a case study, an example. Take a beautiful, beautiful woman, glamorous, just wealthy, the best plastic surgeon in their town, maybe let's say Hollywood. Best, superb, because how this woman looks, magnifique, perfect structure of body, of face. I feel like someone's face, this is the focus on the appeal. Back to how women glorify being beautiful, the appeal to man, not just men, just to man, human beings. Women would rather work and dedicate their whole lives to looking a certain type of way than putting any work within themselves to be anything outside of what they fantasize themselves to be. Meaning that this analogy that I'm giving, reference point and case study, is to show you that how women think is so narcissistic nowadays. Take this analogy of this very same woman, beautiful, beautiful woman, but they got their face done, they wealthy, they can get any man they want. Any man. And think of this. Before they got the surgery, they were different, right? They were original in their identity of how they were birthed to be here. We have Pisces energy, Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo, Capricorn, and Sagittarius too. But yeah, they were birthed looking a type of way. With their grapple with control, the woman decided to change her face, therefore buying a new set of emotions while at it and living a completely different reality. Let's say this happened when they hit the jackpot. Maybe they won the lottery or they got some form of inheritance or something happened in their life that enabled them to be less successful. But before this, they were miserable, sad, sadistic, and lacking a moral compass. This was someone who maybe couldn't take no for an answer, and they would still be that way towards everyone. Still, it's like nothing new. Until they became this successful person, this queen that took over and became like a deity and started treating people like shit. And vowed that because they were this person who didn't get any attention and wasn't looked at to be beautiful before, they were going to be the most beautiful to ever live and exist. You're dealing with someone here, a narcissistic woman who feels like they're the most beautiful person in the world, literally. Literally here, narcissists are on the same vibration. They all think they're the best. That's why they can't be around one another. They would hate one another or kill one another or girl fights and shit, right? Them bitches is crazy. Now what I'm seeing here is this crazy bitch in your message, not just the analogy that I'm giving. Someone here is sexually fantasizing about you and wanting you to feel the same way about them. They want you to sexually fantasize about them too. So they're sending you energy and they're hoping that you receive it. This is someone who portrays themselves to be original, but they're fake, phony, portraying an act, an attention seeker, a thrill lover, an adrenaline junkie who loves the taste of the bad side that they want to bring out of you. Another analogy, folks. Imagine a reference point, a case study, an example, an analogy here of oh, never mind. It's like, oh, it came back. It's like a married woman goes to the library and meets this librarian who helps her select the book of her choice and check it out, meaning buy it. So the librarian then falls in love with the married woman that bought the book in the store, the library. And then when she comes back, when the married woman comes back to, when the married woman finishes buying the book and leaves, this librarian made sure to get their name, their Instagram, posing themselves to be just feminine on feminine energy, just good, just woman shit. But internally, they were already fantasizing a life with this librarian, right? This is just an analogy, right? Case study, a reference point, an example here. So they've already gathered up the personal details to see this married woman's life in more detail, right? The librarian has already gathered the Instagram or whatever the social site to get a hold of this married woman or to see her life in much more depth, which after this woman leaves, she immediately begins to tap in as if she has been tapped into some form of trance and simulation of that woman's world and energy. Like her spirit just felt possessed by this woman's energy, and immediately after the experience and the departure, that's what left the spirit more hungry for the married woman. The librarian spirit was hungry for the woman's energy as soon as she walked in, because what it brought out of the librarian was something within them that they hide, mask. It's like a librarian it's like the analogy of the series of You, that guy that works at the library, and that, what I'm saying, that analogy of like how he's presented to society. He was good. Will was a good guy in the series called You, right? He was good, but he was killing motherfuckers, and he was plotting while next to them, while speaking to them, looking at them in their damn eyes, still plotting. That's sociopathic behavior, won't you say that? So coming back to this librarian fantasizing and obsessing over this married woman, married, not caring about the ring. Oh, they could care less. They just want the woman. They just want to fulfill their spirit, their hunger. So what does the librarian do? She goes on all social sites and begins to research everything about this woman until she gathers enough information to plot against her will, like to seduce her. And when she wins, because of you know what? I'm not gonna say that. She won't win though. I just wanted to make it exciting. But back to this analogy here, not just the analogy, but the message. I feel like you're dealing with that breed of a woman that doesn't care what you got going on. They just want what they want. Like, if you're gonna tell them reasoning or this, I'm not interested. They don't care. It's not about that. I feel like you're dealing with the high priestess reversed energy that seeks to dominate spiritually. They spiritually, like they are a spiritual home wrecker. They spiritually wreck homes. You know, they see a married man even, and they just say, because the wife is more beautiful than me, to make myself feel powerful and feed my spirit, I want to fuck that married man in spite of the wife, to spite her. But you know, the crazy thing about these crazy pretty bitches is that this is a reality they living in their own mind. No one else is existing in that reality, sweetheart. It's you and your demons, motherfucker. That's what makes them dangerous, because ain't nobody looking at you like that, girl. Like, you ain't know that, child. Shit. Chill. Right? Because I feel like you're dealing with a narcissist here. Someone that likes control. They live for control. Let that sink in for a moment while I gather the narrative further. God, talk to us here, because this is big. Oh, this is humongous. This is tragic. Okay. So, you know, I'm getting this analogy, this reference point, this case study, this example is like, in this series that is titled You, right? The name of the series is You. This man falls in love with women and wants to remove, and it's like he falls in love with them in his mind, though. It's like, it's not like reality, it's like it starts in his mind. So he first falls in love with these women in his mind as they walk into the library that he works in. It's literally a series. You can go watch it if you haven't checked out, because it was really big. You know, the psychosis of Will, which is that man portraying that character, is that he intends to be good in intention, right? But in deeds, it's like the opposite. It's like a paradoxical motherfucker right here that will tell you not to do something and then go and do it themselves and do it 10 times over. So what do you call someone like that? Would you say they're sociopathic, psychopathic even? Or just someone who chooses to live in delusion? Someone of an illusionist. This is an illusionist. Someone that is a magician and an illusionist. They base their reality on that. They trap people in their illusion by playing the act of what they feel people need the most. They study the opponent, gather the details, and then they nail it. It's like you've been studied by this person. I don't know what they think they know of you. Whether this is online, which could be more gruesome a little bit. This is just fantasy world, that the fantasy island in their mind. It's not real. So if this was to be executed, it would be completely ineffective, because once again, it's just an illusion. They're literally walking around. They are a walking projection and paradoxical illusionist. Literally. Oh, goddamn. It's like someone's skilled at that. They've been that for like 12 plus years. So imagine that. Imagine how deep that goes. This ain't never been about you. Ain't never been about anyone. It's always about their self-fulfilling prophecy. prophecies, right? Things that make them feel good. I feel like this is someone that loves sex. This is a feminine energy that is obsessed sexually with the sexual power, like the sexual appeal of mankind. They want to be the best sex symbol, and they seduce men, they seduce women, and now they're seducing you. So I'm warning you, which I feel like, you know, come on, guys. I mean, you can see it, right? You can see past the pretty face. You can see the wickedness. Even in the eyes, man. The eyes don't change. That's all I have to say about that. How I'm going to conclude it, though, is it's like, you know, it's like a best friend. Let me conclude it with this analogy. God is showing me something. The reference point, the case study, the example, guys, right? You know, it's that it'll come back to me in a moment. Hold on. Yes, it's like that best friend analogy of like, I'm your best friend, but low key, I'm really your frenemy. It's like a best friend who is a frenemy who masks themselves as a best friend, still shows up as the frenemy, even though you see them as the best friend. The illusion is that you see them like that. So cut the ties of that. Stop seeing them for that, because that's not real. Who they really are is within themselves, which is what they've kept hidden from everyone else, including you. And this is all their life. You just cross roads with them, cross paths, and you stumble upon the illusionist who put you in an illusion and created it with precision. Now, whether they're winning or not, or they won or not, that's up to your discernment. I can't narrate that for you guys. You have to have that will within yourself to see it. It's like you need to fight the spirit of seduction. That's what life is, y'all. Like, this is all like a temptress world where we are manipulated by everything around us, and our level of consciousness, which is our level of higher knowing, allows us to discern like what's this and what's not that. And you need to tap into that rank. It's rank, and that shit is earned. I can't give you the blueprint to the rank. I can give you the method, though, and some ingredients, maybe the little recipe, but like you gotta make it yourself. You gotta do this. You gotta not want her. That's how she loses. You stop wanting her, and her power fades, either emotionally, psychologically, physically, whatever attachment or psychological grip, that care. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. That's how you break the illusion, folks. I just saved y'all, as I always do. Now, to conclude this further, I would say that, you know, stay away from the fake bitches that like to portray so much love for you that it makes no sense. At some point, they're just feeding your ego. Break the illusion by breaking your ego. Ego death. Ego boost will get you killed. Or even worse, murdered. I'm joking. Or am I? Watch yourselves now. Nothing more, nothing less, okay? But it's not your fault that someone feels this way about you. You have to just decide how you move around that. You know what I'm saying? It's like your energy is what it is, and you didn't choose your identity. Therefore, that's why life presents us with teachers like myself to teach us about how to handle our power. Because we are not in charge of the obsessors that come on our path. You know what I'm saying? No one would choose to be obsessed over unless they're sickly. And because you didn't choose that, understand that it just comes with who you are. Your identity reaches that level of power to attract that level of consciousness within people. People that just give themselves to you on that level, mentally, physically, psychologically. Those are power tools that you possess unintendedly doing so. That's why you need to learn yourself so that you don't find yourself in a compromising position and you get fucked over and fucked up by an illusion. Come on. Life is so much more than that. And once you break free from that, God is promising you better. Don't think about the battle in the battle. Just think about the strategic way to get out of it. Don't panic. I'm not here to baby you. I'm here to strengthen you. You can do this, okay? Don't succumb to no spirits. People with their sex demons and shit like, ew, bruh. How about you heal or something? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm out of here. I love you all. I release your spirits in the mighty name of Jesus and in the blood of Jesus. Amen.